Hello. In this lab we're going to talk about how to use Minitab in order to compute probabilities from the binomial distribution. Remember that the binomial distribution is discrete, so the difference between discrete and continuous is that a discrete probability distribution, the outcomes or the random variable x, has discrete values, so they're very distinct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no decimals generally in the binomial distribution. There's one success or two success, right? We're counting successes in this distribution. When you're talking about a continuous distribution, then that could be something like someone's height. And so that is measured on a continuous scale and not on a discrete scale, right? You don't go from 4 feet tall to 5 feet tall with nothing in between. And you don't go from 4 feet 4 inches to 4 feet 5 inches even without things in between, right? There's every single height in between those is also included. So that's the difference between something that's continuous and something that's discrete. In the binomial distribution, that's what we're doing is we're counting successes, so you either have a success or a failure. In the lab this week, what you'll be doing is, actually there's going to be two different problems, but this problem that we're going to talk about in particular here is the probability of girls. So they give you both the probability of a boy and the probability of a girl, but the probabilities that you're asked to compute are all about girls. So this is the one that we're going to consider a success, is the probability for a girl. And this is out of 100, so we're randomly choosing 100 births, and we want to find the probabilities that the number of girls among 100 babies is, and we'll take a look at each of these different cases. You have a few more problems to do in your labs, and of course these are examples, these are not your lab problems, but they're similar to these with different numbers. So this first one, fewer than 25. So we want to know the probability that we'll have fewer than 25 girls, and fewer than 25 means that we want less than or equal to, so you can't have 25, you have to have fewer than that, so that would be 24. And now we'll switch over to Minitab, and in order to compute this, you're going to go to the Calc menu along the top, select probability distributions, and then go down to binomial here. Click on that and you'll open up this box. So because we have less than or equal to, we're going to want to have this radio button for cumulative probability selected. The very first one is what you want to do if you want to only do it for exactly. So if we wanted to find the probability of exactly 25 girls out of 100 births, we would select the first radio button. But we want less than or equal to, so that's cumulative probability. And the number of trials that we have is 100, so that's the total number of births. And then the event probability, so that was 0.4879. And then you can either have input numbers in your worksheet, but you can also just put the number right here. So if you click on this radio button for input constant, you could just type in the value that you're interested in here. And so we wanted less than or equal to 24. So type in 24 right here. And then just click on OK, and it will tell you that you have the probability that x is less than or equal to some little x, and that little x is right here, 24. So the probability that x is less than or equal to 24, and we get this number right here, 0. How many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 6 zeros and a 3. Okay, so this next one, at most 50, so we want the probability that our girls are at most 50, and so that's 50 is the largest that it can be. So that would be less than or equal to 50 for this one, because it can be at most 50, so 50 or less for that one. And so we would just go back in the Minitab, and once you've done one of these, it'll have everything filled in from the last time you did it. So I still have cumulative, which is what I want, 100 trials. I've got my event probability in there already. If you're doing different ones, you have to remember to change all of this, and then this needs to get changed to 50. And then just go ahead and click on OK, and so now I have my new probability, 0.634035. For this next one, we want at least 30. So the probability that girls is at least 30, so 30 or bigger, so that would be greater than or equal to 30. And when you're computing these probabilities in Minitab, it's always less than or equal to the value of x, and so we need to convert this. So it would be 1 minus the probability that girls is, and we need to convert to less than or equal to. So this probability is from 30 on up, and so we want to split this exactly into two groups. So we would need to go less than 29. And so let's go back into Minitab, and so now I need to put 29 in. And we have our probability right there, and we have 4 zeros, 4, 4, 5. And so let's just compute that quick. We get 0.9999555. And when you give your answers, just give exactly the number of decimal places that Minitab gives. So let's say, for example, I wanted to compute a probability that the girls is equal to, say, let's just do 50. So what do we get then? So go into Minitab, click on Calc, and we want probability distributions and binomial. And now instead of a cumulative probability, we just want probability. And these things will stay the same, and we'll change this to 50. And then click on OK. Oops. And so now it says that probability that x is equal to this 50, and we get the probability right here. Okay, so that is how you use Minitab in order to compute binomial probabilities. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you're having a great day. Thanks.